Welcome to a very special episode of Doctor Who Time and Space. I'm Lewis Moon.
And I'm Deacle.
And welcome to episode 126 of Doctor Who Time and Space, when we review The Magician's Apprentice.
That's going to be exciting, isn't it?
I know.
It's going to be an exciting one. It's a long time
since our first review since last Christmas.
Yeah, it seems like a long time since we've been reviewing anything other than old historic episodes from the randomizer.
So now we actually join you. We might be one of the last people to review it, but we will say that we did watch it on the night.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
But the timing
you were a little bit later, but yeah. I watched it live.
But yeah, it's always one of those interesting ones, isn't it? Because our show always is done on the same day as the next episode goes live. So
it's good that way, but at the same time you have to wait a whole week.
Yeah.
Which is quite bad for both us and the audience, but it's sort of quite good having it on Saturday.
But the good thing about it is it gives us a whole week to reflect.
I know.
The bad side of it, when you've got a bad memory like me, you've forgotten a lot of what happens by the time we get to the Saturday.
You haven't written down any notes.
I haven't had time.
I warned you to write down some notes, and then you forgot.
Well, we've been busily editing some of the bigger adventures,
we have been very busy.
So aside from the Magician's Apprentice review, what else do we have on this week's show?
We have a look at what's coming in episode 2, The Witch's Familiar.
We also have one of our legendary Who to Face episodes.
We have some news and views.
We have a little bit of a look at Davros episodes.
Yeah, and we'll say now, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for
Magician's Apprentice.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen The Magician's Apprentice, so for instance your auntie, if she's listening now, then you're about to spoil it for her. But
yes, so I'm going to say spoiler alert to all of you at home who have not watched it. If you haven't, then go and watch it on iPlayer right now.
Yeah, and then listen to this later. But what we won't do, we will have no spoilers in terms of tonight's episode.
Because we haven't watched it yet.
We haven't watched it yet.
But some people are lucky enough to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to give a spoiler-free review, even if we had seen it.
Yeah.
Before the episode, and then we'd give a spoiler review when the episode was on.
So let's kick off then with The Magician's Apprentice. So shall we give a bit of a sort of a rough story idea? Shall we give a rough idea of the story?
And then I'll say what I thought of the episode.
Okay, so this is the bit which has got some potential spoilers in it for people that haven't seen Magician's Apprentice. So basically, we start off on what looks like a very war-torn Skaro.
Yes. It was never indicated that it was the war, though.
No.
Which is what I'm gonna say, the war of the car lads, but we think it was.
I think it would have to be. So it's the car lads versus
the Thals.
The Thals.
Thals are the good guys, and the car lads are the Daleks.
So the last time we would have seen any idea of this battle would have been at the Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah, it was.
And that's a recurring theme that we see throughout this episode.
Yeah.
So big battle scene. Really cool hands shooting out from the ground, which are hand mines, which we'd seen those.
We didn't know they were going to be in episode 1 until was it the trailer of episode 1? That was only like 2 weeks ago.
But we had seen these feature in the trailer for the series, hadn't we?
Yeah.
But we get them; they're straight in your face right at the beginning of the episode, and basically. There's some soldiers trying to protect this young lad who's stuck out in the middle of nowhere. The soldier that's trying to help him gets very coolly dragged into the ground.
And that was in the BBC America trailer.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch you.
And basically it pulls him straight into the ground, doesn't it? And it makes you jump a bit, that bit, doesn't it?
It does.
And then the doctor, well, basically the little boy, they're all on his own, not really scared. Then you get the sonic screwdriver suddenly lands at his feet, and he picks it up.
Great scene.
And the doctor is there, and basically giving this great speech about the 1 in a million chance or something like that.
And also he said, "Give me the name of the boy who's going to live." Davros.
Yeah, so that was the first big shock of the.
And then it closed up on the doctor's face. It's like an EastEnders cliffhanger.
Yeah, and basically he didn't. Well, we get the impression therefore that he then at that point disappeared and left the boy on his own. So cue music. Next thing we know, the doctor has completely disappeared.
Yeah, and it moves on to Colony South.
Who's basically
at Maldovian first.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce
Which is like a big scene. Looks a bit like the canteen scene from Star Wars.
Yeah, remember Dorium from Good Man Goes to War and Pandora Opens.
Yeah.
And Wedding Forever Song.
Yeah. Well, that's the big blue guy. Yeah.
His planet. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it looks like a bit of a big hangout for various alien species, including, I'm pretty sure I saw a Jawa from Star Wars.
Did you? Yeah, there are many creatures like you. Unknown creatures that we haven't seen in Doctor Who.
I think they were having a little bit of a joke by the fact that it looked a bit like that scene in Star Wars with the canteen, which you've not seen Star Wars yet, so but it's a really great scene for when you do. And it basically, this guy is searching for the Doctor. It then has him more because he can't find him there. He then searches for him in.
Is it Khan next? No, it's the Shadow
Proclamation.
Shadow Proclamation next.
Yeah.
Then it's Khan.
Yeah.
We see the return of the Shadow Architect and a healer.
Yeah.
And then we see that shocking scene with Davros when you see him as Julian Bleach from the previous story, Stolen Earth Journey's End. So this is his second time playing Davros, and maybe his last if Davros dies. But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
The interesting thing about it, though, isn't it? I mean, a lot of the story is based around Davros getting older, and basically what's the snaky guy called?
Colony Sar.
Colony Sar. What he's telling people is that Davros has remembered.
Yeah. Should we talk about what we made of the story?
Well, I was just going to finish talking a little bit more about the story
and then
itself.
We'll talk about what we made of the story.
So we then cut to unit. No, we cut to the school. We cut to what's the name of the school again? I should know.
Coal Hill.
Coal Hill, because it's been there since episode 1, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cara's teaching. All of a sudden, planes stopping.
Yeah. It's that great scene in Tenerife, isn't it?
She gets a call from Unit.
Why in Tenerife?
She gets a call from Unit, doesn't she? It rushes off there on a motorbike. Has a great bit of dialogue with Unit about what could possibly be causing the planes to stop. Yeah. Turns out none other than Missy.
Yeah.
So we then get this dialogue between Missy and Clara at this coffee table in Tenerife.
It's just so weird how they're at Tenerife.
Yeah. It's a great scene, that,
isn't it? Though.
I mean, I guess we'll come back to some of these scenes.
Yeah, we will. But this is just, don't talk about the tank either, because there's a whole section on that. Okay,
all right. But it's all sort of, what it turns out is that as well as Clara having no idea with the Doctor, Unit having no idea with the Doctor, the guy with the funny face, Colony Sar,
keep reminding you.
You have to continuously. He has no idea where the Doctor is, and neither does Missy.
Yeah.
And that's probably, is that enough to sort of say about the story? All we know is that Davros wants to find the Doctor.
Yes, he does.
And everyone else wants to find him as well.
Everyone.
But he's gone mysteriously missing.
We don't know where. So, should I say what I made of the story?
Yeah.
I thought this was a great season opener.
The first part of 2, isn't it? We've got to bear that in mind.
One of the best individual season openers, I'll say. I won't say part 2 because overall we don't know what the story's going to be like. We don't know what Witches Familiar will be like. We'll review that episode next week. So. But I thought it had a lot of shocks and thrills. The Doctor was great, but he also had a sort of more light-hearted edge to him. Seeing Davros return was a shocking, but I could actually quote in my mind the moment because I'd heard a spoiler about this, as had quite a lot of people.
As had I about half an hour before it started, which is really annoying. So I really wish that I could have seen that.
I really wish I could have seen that
opening moment without knowing that, because it would have been a real jaw dropper.
It would have.
Your mum hadn't heard it, had
she? No, she was the only person in the world.
Yeah.
Even though I told her a few months ago.
Oh, did you? Well, it's good that she'd forgotten, because I wish I hadn't.
Yeah.
She's probably listening to you now, and she'll be waving a little finger at you.
So Clara's good, but a bit underused to sort of, but she's good because she sort of sketches the way to the Doctor and Missy's relationship which is a key part of this story. The opening scene and the cliffhanger are shocking. I don't know how they'll get round quite a lot of these things, what have happened. And one thing to say, how do the Daleks now remember who the Doctor was when they got mind-wiped by Oswin in Asylum of the Daleks? Remember that?
Yeah, I'm still not completely sure about how that happened. I'm sure there must be something that I'm missing.
Yeah, but I would have noticed it, wouldn't I?
I don't know. Maybe we've both missed something.
Maybe everyone's missed something.
There's definitely something, because we had this discussion before, didn't we? Last time when Into the Dalek.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, nobody seems to have forgotten him anymore. Not sure. I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
But there we are. That's the way it is. Of course, moving on with the story, in the second chunk of it, what then happened was that they did find the Doctor.
Yeah.
We won't go into too much detail because we want to come on to that in a minute.
No.
But eventually, the 3 of them get transported to a place that turns out to be Skaro.
Oh.
And that bit's great, isn't it?
It's one of my favourite scenes from the episode. Yeah.
But then, so I'm sort of giving a bit of a synopsis of the story, and we'll probably come back to it.
What do you think of the story?
What do I think
given your opinion.
Okay.
You've given the story, but you haven't given your opinion.
Thought it looked fantastic, the episode.
Yeah.
The effects in the story were really, really great. It had that look of a feature film about it.
And it felt like a feature film.
It did.
It felt like a season finale, as there had been hints to that before by various people.
We're going to come on a little bit as to whether you sort of mentioned that you thought it was one of the best season openers.
Yes.
I'll talk a little bit about that a bit later on when we start questioning it.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to go into that now.
No, we'll talk about that in a minute.
But I certainly think it was a very good opener.
Yeah.
There's things that I didn't like about it, and we'll come on to that in a minute. But
I personally liked it, but it's a scene which most people liked, but there are some people which didn't.
Yeah.
Like him.
Not me. What was interesting was there'd been a lot of discussion about Clara leaving in the week building up to it.
I know.
And initially I was thinking it's odd how that's been released now. But actually I think it was timed by the BBC.
I do too.
Because of the fact
that Clara gets exterminated in episode 1.
So you had both Missy and Clara exterminated at the end of episode 1.
But there's been spoilers. There's been spoilers, but there's sort of like a inevitability thing. They there's spoilers, but at the same time they're not.
But the thing is, it's hard to think that there's any possible way that Clara at least is dead at this stage.
Yeah.
On the basis that the trailers and everything had lots of episodes.
And she was with Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
She was in the Ghost one.
So it's odd, unless Moffat's doing something very, very clever, which he could do.
He always does.
Yeah.
Let's be truthful on that.
We were watching the fan show review earlier on, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
And one of the guys on there had this theory that this could be happening right at the end, and therefore that may have been the end of Clara.
Yeah.
Which is a great theory. I don't think it's going to be right, but I like the theory.
We have theories as fans.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Stephen Moffat ruins them, like when he said Maisie Williams is not a returning character. I wish he hadn't said that, because now it's sort of ruined it.
Yeah.
Because I wish we could anticipate it a bit more like that.
Yeah.
Knowing that not knowing that Maisie Williams, who she is, or if she's returning or not returning, but that's going on to something else.
But we also know that he lies.
Yes.
Don't we?
He
So
does.
we know that he does lie. So who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? We know that Moffat knows.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to ask some questions or something?
Yes. Okay. So, what's your favourite scene?
My favourite scene.
Yeah.
In the whole lot was probably that opening sequence.
Yeah. I agree.
Can I have?
I've got another scene.
Yeah, I love the opening sequence. The one with the hands. That was great.
That was
brilliant.
great.
Really did everything that you want with an opener.
Yeah, I think that scene and the Scarrow scene when they arrived there is great.
Because the great thing about that, wasn't it, is that you thought that for whatever reason Davros was in this very small spaceship.
Yeah, it looked like a Scarrow spaceship. So,
but then basically it turned out that
it was shocking that moment.
It became apparent that they weren't. They were actually on Scarrow, and that certain parts of it were just hidden.
Yeah.
Because you got Missy went and walked out into space, didn't she?
Yeah.
But then basically the Scarrow that we know and love from the very first series. I
know. Well, do we love it?
We do, in a funny sort of way.
In a funny sort of way, we do.
Yeah. And that was great.
It was a great scene.
Can I say the other bit that I really loved? My other favourite scene was that bit when that guy whose name I've forgotten again.
Colony Sar.
Yeah. when Colony Sar, when his face turned into sort of unwrapped.
That was so creepy.
Yeah, and all these snakes came out. Initially, do you know, my initial thought was he that snaky thing from Peter Davidson?
The Mara.
The Mara. I was thinking, have they brought the Mara back? But it obviously isn't. Is it?
Worst Namara on the hints and teasers, but we'll go on to that later.
Yeah.
Which must mean a reference to this Colony Sar.
But I'd initially thought perhaps they brought the Mara back.
Yeah.
But then what I really loved
was
this whole idea that actually this character was more than one.
And that's why he said, "We are Colony Sar."
Yeah, because it was made up of all of those snakes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. One of the best. Probably going to be a really small character, very similar to how the Whisper Men, how cool they looked, and they turned out to be like just really sort of important to the plot.
Yeah, they sort of introduced it.
Yeah. Always reminds me of a character in Star Wars, Boba Fett, and the impact he had without being in it too much. But again, I'm not going to say too much because you've not seen Star Wars. So.
Yeah. So, what about the not so great scenes? Now, there's a scene which I absolutely adore. What an entrance it was, but maybe you don't think so.
Yeah, the scene. It's funny because you look at all the reviews, both from would-be journalists like ourselves and the actual write-ups, and pretty much everybody's loving that scene when the Doctor comes in on the tank
No,
playing guitar.
I think it's such a whopping entrance. It's just so different.
I think most people liked it, but I didn't like that whole scene. I just found that I was thinking, it's just a bit cheesy.
I get what you mean. I get where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of know what you're talking about it being more cheesy than Series 8 and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it needed a bit more of a light edge to it. And I thought it was quite a good entrance.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it how he was introducing like the word dude. That just wasn't him. It wasn't him.
But I guess to a certain extent.
It's not him this series sometimes.
I think that was part of the point though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To a certain extent, some of it was him a little bit in denial, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he was just trying to have a bit of fun, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was just partying. But I don't know, there was that sort of bit just seemed a little bit do you know what I'll tell you what it reminded me of? Sylvester McCoy era Doctor Who.
Did it? Do you think he would come with a xylophone in Sylvester McCoy? No, the spoon. So he'd go on tank playing the spoons.
Yeah. It just had that sort of cheesiness element of it, where you could imagine that.
Yeah, I get what you mean, as I said.
Yeah, I don't know, but having said that, there's always been little elements like that, isn't it? I guess a scene I really love from the Tom Baker era is when he comes back in Robot and he's doing that skipping rope scene with Harry.
Oh yeah, that's so funny.
And I guess that's probably akin to this in many respects, but I don't know that. I really like that scene. Whereas this bit, maybe it'd be better when I watch it again. But because I love the dark parts of the Capaldi era so much, I just found that bit a little bit cheesy.
Yeah. So Davros made his return.
Before you go into that, you said about other scenes I didn't like. There's one other bit I didn't like.
What?
Which I liked the scene, but I didn't like was that Clara seemed to be cleverer than all of Unit.
Oh yeah.
I like the fact that Unit used her as an important agent. I think that was quite feasible because she's been through so much. But I didn't like the fact that she was there telling the Brigadier's daughter, Kate Stewart. Yeah. I didn't like the fact that he was telling her. Clara was telling her how to do her job.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Kate was a little bit sticky.
Yeah. And we got a new Osgood, Jack.
Yeah.
Which a bit underused, but I think she returns in the Zygon one. I don't really care for her. I want Osgood.
Yeah, but I don't know. As it happened, it didn't really matter. Neither of them needed to be there because Clara just came and solved the day.
No. So as a
sorry, I interrupted.
Okay, Davros, played by Julian Bleach, made his return in this story. So what did you think of him? As you haven't seen Stolen Earth Journeys, what did you think of his performance and of the character overall? Okay,
right. Davros, great character.
Yeah.
One of the best villains that Doctor Who's ever come up with.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a bit about some of the other stories we'll do a bit later on. How good was that performance?
I know.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because the whole sort of idea is that Davros is dying and he's coming face to face with the Doctor for probably the last time.
Yeah.
Who knows? But he's just brilliant, wasn't he? He still had that. Well, he was quite creepy, wasn't it?
He was, yeah.
What was your views?
I loved Davros, and he was at one of his best performances in this story. Obviously, you can't beat Genesis of the Daleks, but it comes very close to it in a battle. I think the Davros and the Daleks are only used. Well, they're used mainly to lead up to the next story, because the next story, I think, Witch is Familiar, part 2, tonight, I think it's going to feature more Daleks and more Davros, and there's apparently a big face-off, so I think we've got lots more Davros to come.
Yeah.
But maybe only in this episode.
We've got to look forward for that, haven't we? Because it's the dialogue between the Doctor and Davros is fantastic.
I know.
It's one of the highlights.
It was. So also Missy, played by Michelle Gomez, returned in this story. What did you think of her?
She's the way that Michelle Gomez plays Missy. There's some times where she reminds me a little bit of Delgado.
Yeah.
Although she's obviously far more of a nutter.
Yeah.
And what she does really, really good is she manages to be. If she took it any further, she would be really, really irritating.
She would, yeah.
But she seems to have got it, the edge just right.
Yeah.
Of, being actually very funny, but very sinister, whilst not quite getting annoying. Because she could really get under your skin, couldn't she? But she doesn't quite do it. Yeah. To me. I know some people find her annoying, but
Michelle Gomez plays Missy really well. I think Michelle Gomez Missy is one of my favourite masters.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe second, just below Anthony Ainley, because you can't beat Anthony Ainley. It's very hard.
What do you think?
Delgado, I mean.
I knew that's
what I meant.
Yeah, but I think
it's just they look and are very similar, but Delgado is kind of a better version.
Yeah. Although Ainley is good.
Ainley is good as well. Third, probably.
I loved that bit of dialogue between Missy and Clara in the sort of the cafe sequence, where you've got basically the two of them sat outside in the sun, although they've got the planes above them, sheltering them. But there's basically all the snipers sat cornering around them, so if Missy does anything wrong, the snipers will take them out. And Clara's having this heart-to-heart discussion with her about where the Doctor is, and there's a couple of bits I was going to mention here.
Yeah.
Firstly, there's that great line when Clara asks, it talks about them being a couple or something like that, and says, "Where do I fit into this?" And Missy says,
"You're the puppy."
Yeah. I love that bit. But I also like the fact that when Clara sort of says, "Have you turned good?" And then Missy zaps the unit soldier, and then another one says, "Have I turned good?" And
she's so over the top.
Yeah,
but it's so great.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question then?
Yes.
Well, firstly, there's a couple of things I wanted to pick up on, because you've asked some questions and I've responded, but you've not really had the opportunity to answer to it.
I have.
You sort of have, but the first one was there any bits you didn't like in the episode?
Not necessarily, no.
No?
Thinking through it, no, but probably when I rewatch it, I sort of scan a bit more, and I probably notice bits I didn't like a bit more. I've got a question for you, by the way.
Okay.
And for both of us. What did you make of the cliffhanger?
The cliffhanger?
There were a number of cliffhangers. First there was Clara, Missy and the TARDIS getting destroyed. And there was the Doctor holding the Dalek wisp thing, saying, "Exterminator!"
To the Davros, wasn't it? So Davros was standing there. Again, so he basically went back in time again, didn't it, to the opening sequence?
Yeah.
How
did he get there?
With this time, with the Doctor thinking, maybe I will exterminate him after all. Really good, really exciting.
Really exciting
because I've been spending the whole of this week trying to work out how on earth they're going to get out of it.
I know,
and I haven't yet worked it out.
I mean, what do you think they'll make the decision? What do you think the decision they're going to make?
I think what's going to happen is it will start with the Doctor waking up. Oh, it was all a dream.
All 52 years of us. No, he wakes up as William Hartnell. That's even better.
So no, I've no idea. I've no idea how they're going to get out of it at all. I don't think Clara and Missy are dead. I think they will be there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got the foggiest. I really don't know.
I know.
And as a result of that,
it's so exciting tonight. It's just over 3 hours.
Yeah. As a result of that, it makes
I made a mouth noise.
As a result of that, it makes for a really good cliffhanger.
It does.
And
Shocking.
the next time that followed it was equally good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
there was no Clara or Missy involved in it.
No, but there have been spoilery pictures. So, what was your other question? Did you have any more?
Yeah, it was. What did you make of the references back to Genesis of the Dalek?
Oh, Genesis of the Daleks.
So
yeah. Genesis is such a classic story.
And it links significantly back to this, doesn't it? Because this whole episode is basically linked to that whole idea of the speech that Tom Baker's Doctor gave. Can you remember the speech, roughly?
I've got it on Doctor TV, probably.
Yeah.
No, I'll find it.
Okay.
I'll find it completely.
But it was very interesting that it's basically what will be a story that will be pretty much, well, not quite as long as Genesis of the Daleks, but not far short of the length of that original story.
Yeah.
That is really essentially linked to one line.
Okay, if someone who knew the future pointed out a child to you and told you that child would grow up totally evil, to be a ruthless dictator who would destroy millions of lives, would you then kill that child?
And it's a fantastic question, isn't it?
It is.
And I don't know. It's a really difficult answer, and the whole story is based on that question.
Yeah.
Could he have killed Davos? Should he have killed Davos? And the very fact that Davos now, via the Daleks, seems to have killed not only Clara, his friend Clara, but also Missy, who, as we know, their complicated relationship.
Yeah, I love that it developed on all of the relationships.
What was that terminology we saw from anyone? Frenemy.
Yeah, frenemy.
I've not heard that line before, but I really like that. The fact that they are friends, really, even though there is that hatred that goes through them, and that, yeah.
Should we finish our review there? Or do we have any other things to add?
I was going to ask you.
Yes.
A few things.
Okay.
Okay. I was just trying to remember what they were. Oh, firstly, what did you make of Clara?
Oh yeah, Clara. She wasn't as used as she was in Series 9. She was sort of like a more of a character which wasn't as developed. She was still good. She just I liked her relationship with Missy. And I liked the bit when she was killed.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a shocking moment, but we knew it was going to happen sometime, but not at the beginning of the series.
Yeah. What did you make of the retro Daleks?
Oh, retro Daleks. We see more of them tonight. We want an explanation. When people say we need an explanation for everything, me and you don't agree, do we?
No.
But I think there are two things I want explaining. The Asylum of the Daleks thing I was talking about when the mind wiped, and about the classic Daleks. How did they get there? Is it because it's Skaro?
Yeah, I mean,
why?
Surely on their home planet, you would expect to see some older ones there. It's no different than if you come here, you see some young people and some old people.
Yeah.
Or is that silly? I don't know. That's what it seems to me. Yeah. So overall, then, ratings.
Do we just do a score? Do we just do an overall score?
Yeah. Overall score.
So I'm going to say it's a 9 out of 10.
I would agree.
9.3.
And possibly we'll revisit that as an entire story once we get the final part next week.
So 9.3.
Okay, I'm going to go for 9.
Okay, 9.0. Yeah.
Solid opener.
It is
more than a solid opener.
More. Where does it rank with the other story series and openers?
So if we just look at New Who.
Okay.
Yeah, we just look at New Who. I think that's really difficult, isn't it? Really difficult one to do. I think I still really love Impossible Astronaut as an opener, just because that whole Doctor Death scene, which is
but I don't think it beats this.
It wasn't as exciting as this one, and it wasn't as well made as this one. And as I said, visually, this one was by far superior.
By the way, I don't think we'll do Who to Face.
Don't think we'll have time.
Maybe not.
No, maybe not. Okay.
No, it's a series 9 film.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say. I think I still prefer Impossible Astronaut.
Do you?
Yeah. What about you? Where did you?
First in New Who.
First in New Who.
Second, Asylum of the Daleks. Third, Deep Breath. Fourth, Impossible Astronaut. Fifth, Rose. What's sixth, 11th Hour. Seventh, Smith and Jones.
Yeah.
8, Partners in Crime, and 9, New Earth.
Okay. Can I ask you one more question about it?
Okay.
What do you think, in terms of character development, the different Doctor that we see now, rather than Peter Capaldi's first season, where certainly to start with, he's verging on paranoia, isn't he? But certainly quite grumpy, quick to anger Doctor.
Yeah.
He's sort of mellowed a little bit from what we can see in this at the beginning of this episode. What do you make of that?
He's still a good Doctor. I'm not saying he's not a good Doctor. I don't think his performance was as strong as in Series 8. It was still good, but I liked the darker tone he had, and I get what you mean by the guitar playing scene and everything.
I think actually, from an actor perspective, I think he acted it brilliantly as he did in the last series. He did act
it well.
But like you, I love that darker edge Doctor.
Yeah.
Best.
I do too.
But
that's what hooked me to Series 8. So do you think this series will beat Series 8? Or judging by the first episode?
It's so hard to say. I think it will be more. It'll be easier going. I think more people will like it. I think it'll be more popular.
I do too.
But I don't. Maybe Series 8 will have an edge for me just because I like things slightly darker. But it's difficult because the episodes just look really good. For this series, and it's difficult to make it too much of a judgment until we've seen them.
Yeah. Okay. So should we move on from the review?
We should. Yeah.
Should we move on to Which is Familiar preview?
Okay.
Okay. So Which is Familiar tonight? Another episode, part 2 of this story. So it's going to be written by Stephen Moffat again. Did you notice that this story was directed by Hetty McDonald, director of Blink? I completely forgot about that until a couple of days after the story.
Yeah, indeed.
But
it looked great again, though, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
And it was a very this episode. What I think it's going to be a good one. Do you think it can compete against Magician's Apprentice, or do you think it won't be as good?
It's an interesting one, and I think a common complaint about Stephen Moffat, whether it's right or wrong, I'm not sure. Perhaps we'll come to a decision once we've talked this through. But a common complaint is that his finishing off the stories isn't as good as his build-up to stories.
Yeah.
And I can sort of see that to a certain extent. I mean, if
I
you
can,
think
but
of,
that's with all of Doctor Who, I think.
maybe, yeah.
The first part's always the best one, and Sarah Jane as well.
Yeah.
The first part's always the best one.
If we just stick thinking about some of the Moffat stories, definitely if you look at Dark Water, Death in Heaven that we reviewed last week.
Yeah.
As you know, I enjoyed it a lot more Death in Heaven the second time.
Born to Save the Universe.
But I think Dark Water built up to such a great position that Death in Heaven was never going to be able to stand up to that quality. Similarly, the Impossible Astronaut and what's the
Day of the Moon.
Day of the Moon.
I thought that bit was quite creepy at the beginning, but then it sort of lost its way. There were good bits in it, but then
but the Day of the Moon isn't as good as Impossible
I like
Astronaut.
the bit in the haunted house, the start of the bit in the haunted house, when they're going up the stairs, when Amy's locked in that room and the silence are everywhere.
Yeah, but it struggles to meet the explosion of the first one. I'm trying to think of another two-part where that might be the case as well.
Hungry, no.
Ganger one, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. But maybe it's not fair criticism. But I'm hoping that because it built up so much with this story.
The TARDIS Archives, which is a YouTuber I watch, they said, as their spoiler-free review, they said it's better than the first part. Brilliant. I'm sure it was them.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. Are you going to read a synopsis of it at all or anything, or not? Or you're not planning to?
Find it. Got to get my Doctor TV out again. Wait a sec. So, any theories and stuff?
Theories. I'm completely. I'm completely baffled. Like I said earlier on in the podcast, I'm completely baffled as to how Clara and Missy are still alive.
I know.
I just can't get my head around it. Unless it is all a dream. Maybe, it is like Wizard of Oz. But no, which obviously won't be. But I don't know. I can't get my head around. Can't get my head around that at all.
So, which is familiar synopsis? Show please. Oh yeah. Trapped and alone in the terrifying Dalek city, the Doctor is at the heart of an evil empire. No Sonic, no TARDIS, nobody to help. With his greatest temptation before him, can the Doctor resist? And will there be mercy? At 7:45 p.m.
See, the whole thing with time and Doctor Who is that it's got there's so many things that it can do because it can go anywhere, it can go any time. But then it also gets really, really confusing because I was trying to get my head around the very fact that the Doctor threw his sonic screwdriver down to Davros means he no longer has a sonic screwdriver. But what does that mean in terms of the past?
Yeah, because it's.
But I guess for him, his timeline is sort of weaving in and out, isn't it?
Yeah. It's quite confusing. It's like the River Song thing.
Yeah.
Don't know how the River Song thing's going to link with the Christmas one. Because River Song died, and then it showed her grave. What can you do other than that?
Yeah. Who knows?
So
what are you looking for most about this episode, the new one, which is familiar? And why is it called? And why was the other one called The Magician's Apprentice? Who was the Magician's Apprentice?
The Doctor and Missy. This one. I
mean, they might as well have called it. I like eating jelly babies, didn't they? Because it actually didn't seem to have any relevance at all to it.
No. Which is familiar. Could be Mrs. the Witch. Could be Davros is the witch. But he's not a woman.
Well, it could be that they just thought it was a cool title.
Yeah, and they never thought out why.
Yeah.
I can't get my head around it. Nobody can.
Yeah.
It's Confession Doll, the last will and testament of time.
What did you make of that, by the way? Did you? I quite like that.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I think it's going to be this series' story arc.
Yeah,
Confession.
maybe. Yeah.
Because it's mentioned in the Radio Times thing.
Yeah.
The last. Luckily, I didn't read the thing, the episode 2 Radio Times thing before I watched Magician's Apprentice, because it said the doctor with the doctor's best friends murdered in front of his own eyes. Big spoiler.
Well, it depends. It could have been his best mate's cousin Dave from not Jazz and Dave the Musicians, but his time Lord friends that he hadn't seen for a long time.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Is it worth at this stage going to your section where within your Doctor TV web page stuff where it gives a few hints and clues about this week's episode? It probably links in quite nicely to this item, doesn't it?
It is worth it. So
if you can find it,
I can find it.
Yeah.
In a second, I just need to get to the news. Okay.
Because that helps us, I think, in terms of actually trying to get our head around what we think might happen.
So, opening line: consider the Doctor. Did not expect to see those two again, but it's not who you think.
Stop.
Yeah.
Who could they be? So if this is not who you think... I was
thinking Clara and Missy, but then I read it's not who you think that.
Now, I've said to you, haven't I, that I'm wondering, and I'll probably end up being laughed at after the episode, but could it be Rory and Amy?
Yeah.
Could there be some link back to them?
Could it? Maybe. Maybe not. If you're watching in the future, then you might laugh at us. If we're watching in the future, then we might laugh at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't really care. It's just our opinions for the future.
Opinions.
We don't know. We're not going to give spoilers if we know them. We know why I've gone like this.
We know more than we know more than you, unless you're somebody that's seen the episode already.
Yeah,
so you know more than us.
50 android assassins and a nest of vampire monkeys. It took me so long too. Something. He's half the man he used to be. A chair and a cup of tea are miraculously discovered. You won't survive turning your back. Davros ponders an important question as 12 did. And the Doctor thought the Mara was bad. No pig slaves down here, but something much worse. The Cybermen actually get a mention. To do with Missy.
Could be, couldn't it? Could be something. Yeah.
Do you want to see the second?
The other person that I said that possibly these two people we can meet again.
Yeah.
One of them could be Danny Pink, maybe.
But who could do? Oh yeah.
Who was the other person? Oh yeah, Seven, Danny Pink. Yeah, maybe Missy and Clara are now in the Leathersphere. Yeah. Who knows?
Okay, set 2. The Daleks get to shout another of their most famous phrases.
Well, I'm trying to think what is their other famous. If it exterminates.
There's there's one from Destiny of the Daleks which goes out of my mind every time I try to think of it.
Is it?
It could be Annihilate. It could be Annihilate. It could be Annihilate.
I like to move it.
It had Destroy in it.
Did it?
Yeah. Gave it up. Bad memories. Telepathic control. There's no such thing as, which I think it's the Daleks.
There's no such thing as the Daleks. Wouldn't surprise me if that happens, but at the end there will be.
Who is the Doctor? It was never explained.
Could it be that the Doctor will kill Davros, and then he'll have to go and unkill him?
So, because it would change time.
Because of what it makes of it. Yeah.
Maybe the Doctor wouldn't have gone to find Clara because of Oswin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Clara that we're going to see in the rest of the series is one of the other Claras that's floating
That's what
around
one
the
my theory was.
universe.
You stole my theory. Why did the Doctor really leave Gallifrey? There's a surprising story behind a piece of jewellery. Something, something, something alive. This was last used in Cold War.
What do you think that could be? Something that was last used in Cold War. Could it be the translator thing? Is that?
Oh yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Could be it leads on to the next story and they end up in the Russian place.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, it could be linked, couldn't it? Because there was that talk of all the stories being linked in some way, wasn't there?
Yeah. I see you. Evolution of the Daleks. We'll need a silent to work this out.
Something else that occurs to me, and again, I know we're sort of going back to the other episode, but it was something that you messaged me about, and I said, oh, we'll have to talk about that later. And then forgot.
Yeah.
There was reference somewhere to 3 references back to
Russell T Davies
era
last week.
And
things.
We were trying to think what these 3 were, wasn't there? 2 of them. Well, the first one would have been that place where the blue guy came from, the canteen sequence sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Shadow Proclamation.
Well, the Shadow Proclamation would be one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The other place, would that be, or was that Matt Smith era?
That was Matt Smith.
Okay, all right, okay. So in that case, we're going to think of one
then. Missy. No, the Master. No, one of them Daleks.
Yeah.
Because of the Emperor Dalek.
I don't think that.
And Davros, because of Stolen Earth Journey's End.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
That's 2 of them.
Mm.
The other one, we need your comments. What you thought of everything.
Tell them in below.
Yes.
Below.
What do we go to next? News or top Davros things?
Should we end with the news to be a little bit different?
Yeah, to be
okay. And then we can work out how much news we want to go through, won't we?
Yeah.
So, the next item is?
Top Davros episodes.
Okay, can you name all the Davros episodes?
Yes. Genesis of the Daleks, Resurrection of the Daleks, Revelation of the Daleks, Remembrance of the Daleks, Stolen Earth Journey's End, Magician's Apprentice, The Witch's Familiar, although we can't really count Witch's Familiar yet.
So, first of all, how many of those episodes, because Davros was actually in it a lot more than I actually realised. I didn't realise there was in quite as many as that. How many of them are good? How many of them are great episodes, and how many of them are good episodes, and how many of them are pants? Are any of them pants?
3 of them are... Two of them are... No. 3 of them are great episodes. 2 of them are great episodes. Fantastic episodes. And all the rest are all right ones. Revelation of the Daleks, I think, is my least favourite.
Which one's that?
The 6th Doctor one, Colin Baker.
Okay. The other day, when I was around your house, I said to you, I'd like to see a bit of Stolen Earth. I want to see a little bit with Davros in it, with this guy playing him, because he was so cool.
Julian Bleach.
Yeah, and he was really cool in the clip from Stolen Earth that you showed me.
Yeah, it was from Journey's End.
From Journey's End, sorry. But I tell you what, right, it was one of the most cringeworthy scenes. It was one of the most cringeworthy scenes I'd ever actually seen. In that you had the always annoying Donna somehow, and forgive me because I've not actually seen the episode, so it may make a lot more sense if you have. I was purely seeing this clip, but it had her having turned into a Time Lord. But not only has she turned into a Time Lord, but she seemed to have turned into a Time Lord that was equally as annoying as David Tennant's 10th Doctor. So you had like double very, very clever, annoying people, and loads of, I don't know, it was bordering on slapstick. I was half expecting Benny Hill to come running in and start slapping people on the forehead. It was horrible. It was a really. I
get what you mean.
It was a really horrible scene. So that certainly. Actually, I think I watched Stolen Earth. I think. Yeah. Or some of it, and I really liked it, but I hated that scene you showed me the other day.
Yeah. So My favourite Dalek episode is Genesis of the Davros episode is Genesis of the Daleks, followed. Should I do an order?
Yeah, go on then.
Followed by Magician's Apprentice, then Remembrance of the Daleks, then Stolen Earth Journey's End because of the first part, then Resurrection of the Daleks, then Revelation of the Daleks.
See, I'm rubbish at names, as you know, whatever your name is. What's the second? What was Davos's second appearance?
Oh, Destiny of the Daleks. I forgot about that one.
Bonus.
Oh yeah, I put that above Stolen Earth.
Yeah. I was reading something the other day. I can't remember who it was that said it, so forgive me. But certainly some other writer somewhere was saying how great Genesis of the Daleks is, and then they got really excited, looking forward for when Davos would one day come back in it, and when he returned in Destiny of the Daleks, it was a little bit disappointing. He wasn't as cool, or the story wasn't as cool.
Yeah, it's because it was late 70s. It's almost the 80s, so the Doctor Who was starting to go a bit iffy.
Yeah. Was that the last series of Tom Baker? That
no.
No?
The penultimate.
So who was the companion that met?
Romana
too. Okay. But I probably did see that when I was growing up, but I don't remember it at all. Yeah. So maybe it's one for the randomizer when the randomizer returns. Although obviously we have no choice over that because it's random, hence its name, the randomizer. In terms of my favourites, Genesis is just pretty much unbeatable.
Yeah, it is. You cannot beat Genesis of the Daleks.
Yeah. It's just such a great episode. Although, Davos is great, obviously, in Genesis, but the guy playing him this time round was fantastic. That whole Davos near his end. It made him seem even more sinister in many respects.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about in this section?
I don't think there is.
Or are we on to the news? Which gives us approximately about 2 minutes to do the news.
Can we do it more than that?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
I was only joking, but.
Okay. So let's do the news. So what do we do for synopsis? Before the flood, official synopsis. On a remote army outpost, a fearsome alien warlord, the Fisher King, sets in motion a twisted plan to ensure his own survival. The ripples will be felt around the universe. Is this chain of events inevitable? And can the Doctor do the unthinkable?
Interesting.
So,
it's weird, isn't it, with this one? Because you've got this thing of what's it called? The Fisher King. The Fisher King.
Played by Neil Fingleton.
But then you've got
from Game of Thrones.
Oh, is he? Who's he in Game of Thrones?
He's like the giant guy.
Yeah, right.
The giant guy.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know the giant guy you mean now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a Game of Thrones person.
I am, but I'm rubbish with names. Yeah. So. Okay, no, that's quite interesting. But the weird thing about it is, if you look at the clips and all the ghost things, you wouldn't think the ghost things fit in with that storyline, would you?
No.
But obviously they do.
Must be like a different kind of two parts, like they really.
Yeah. So, any other news?
Yeah, there probably is. More about that story. Under the Lake will air next week at 8:25 p.m.
So
time.
Quite a bit later.
So what do you think about that late timing?
Do you think the late timing is because of the other programs they've got on, like Strictly Come Dancing?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's because it's a bit more scary?
Both reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be a bit of both. I mean, I think it's always going to be. I mean, I don't know whether you were going to go. Were you going to be talking about ratings today or not?
Yes. I'm going to be talking about ratings.
Maybe we can talk about that now.
Yeah, let's talk about ratings. So,
not that I think ratings mean very much at all anymore.
No, they don't. But the overnight viewings was quite low for Magician's Apprentice. It was 4.58 million.
Now, I think personally, I just don't think there's really too much in these ratings these days.
The hour's 84, which is quite good.
Because everything seems to be down, whether you're talking soap operas, whether you're talking Downton Abbey, whether you're talking, everything is pretty much down. Even because it got whipped a little bit by what was called X Factor on the other side, didn't it? But it's always going to.
It is.
Because X Factor, for whatever reason, people love. No idea. Can't fathom out why.
Neither do I, but it's one of those watch then. But the ratings for everything were down that week, Downton Abbey and everything.
But I think the thing is, with something like the X Factor, people will watch that live. People might watch it on the iPlayer afterwards, or the ITV player, or whatever it's called. But most people are going to watch that live. Whereas things like Doctor Who are easy to watch. And also now you've got a bit of a box set mentality, in that people like watching whole series all in one go.
Yeah.
So I think generally viewing figures are down anyway, because I think people have got a lot more now. They've got things like Netflix, they've got Xboxes and stuff like that. So you're not going to get to the glory days of the 70s where people only had 3 channels.
But we'll have to wait to see tomorrow's listings to see whether which is familiar gets more. Do you think he'll get more than this episode?
No. I think the ratings overall, once they add in everything else that they add in, will be probably a little bit lower than the opener for last time, because last time was a new Doctor, so it's always going to be higher.
So, talking about ratings, Magician's Apprentice sets US ratings record.
Okay.
While the UK overnights could have been stronger, The Magician's Apprentice was the highest rated season premiere to date in the US on BBC America. The premiere episode ranks as Doctor Who's biggest season premiere overseas in the adult 18 to 14 demo, which nearly doubled the Series 8 average.
Trumps.
The series' season debut also saw increased social engagement versus last season's premiere, and reigned as the most social drama of the night and week leading into the premiere.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
I know.
You do sense that it is getting ever popular in America, don't you?
Yeah.
You really sense it. I don't think it's declining here either. I just think people are watching it differently. But it's odd how people are watching it differently over here, but don't seem to be in America.
And on BBC America, you can watch. If you're in America, you can actually watch for free The Magician's Apprentice on YouTube.
Right. Okay.
Via the BBC's official.
Oh, is that right?
BBC America official.
I think the other sort of side of it as well is that it's probably not up against X Factor.
Yeah.
In the USA, it'd be up against other things instead. But America's had this whole 101 channels thing for years now. So whereas here, it's a relatively new thing.
So next companion favourite emerges, 13th Doctor rumours.
Okay.
So this is the favourite. And so it begins. Following the recent news of Jenna Coleman's departure, the bookies have begun listing favourites for the next companion. The current footrunner is Michelle Keegan, whose odds have been slashed from 10 to 1, as low as 4 to 1. However, it wasn't just Next Companion getting attention over the weekend. The Mirror, again, we need an apology to the Mirror, by the way, about the Davros thing, are claiming Richard Madden, who's Jenna Coleman's ex-boyfriend, is top of the list, drawn up by producers in case Peter Capaldi leaves too. So they said the sources claim 12th Doctor Peter, 57, has admitted he finds filming the series tiring and is left with little time for other projects. He dropped a further hint that he might leave by revealing he will go to the US to direct 2 episodes of the political satire Veep.
I think that Peter Capaldi will stay for at least one more season, but I can see him leaving after 3, just because it probably is very intense.
Yes.
I'm very interested in the fact that who they're talking there as a possible replacement, because I mean, I've obviously seen him from Game of Thrones as Robb Stark, and he's very good there. But he's also in terms of for a young audience, he would probably be quite a good choice, and again, quite different from what they've had with Capaldi.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they always need to do. They can go back to having people that have got elements of a previous Doctor in them, because there's only so many character traits you can have. I think they will go for someone a bit younger again next time. Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah. So the final thing I want to say, that I'll put some more full articles about the Radio Times Festival and Jenna Coleman on their final filming day. But for now, I'm going to say about the Missy figure to end it off. There's a Missy figure been released by news by Character Options. It had to be made, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So is this sort of like figures that will be coming out to coincide with this series?
I don't know. I don't know when it's coming out though.
I was trying to think whether or not we got villains from this series that are going to be coming out with the Missy one.
Colony Star.
Yeah,
he'd be such a great figure.
But you'd want to be able to you'd want to be able to unravel him into loads of snakes, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Be like a Rubik's cube, you know. As soon as you unraveled him for the first time, you wouldn't be able to put him back together again.
Davros with his hand like this and like the sonic screwdriver with him.
You've not got a Davros figure, have you? So that'd be useful, because at the moment he can't feature in any of our.
Missy can soon if she's in it. Yeah. When she's out.
So
hopefully it's before February 1st.
As some final thoughts.
Yeah.
Obviously, today as soon as we finish this podcast, you'll be pressing the button to make another episode of Figure Adventures go live.
Yes.
What have we got this time?
Lost.
Okay. Anything else you want to say, or not?
Enjoy it.
Enjoy what? Lost. Yeah.
And what else? A Witch is Familiar.
Yeah.
I'll say in a minute.
Yeah.
At the end of the show to remind everyone. Should we say what's next week?
What's coming next week then?
We review episode 2, The Witch is Familiar.
Okay. We will be doing other stuff because I don't know what else we're doing. You better do this.
We will be having a preview to Under the Lake. We will be having some news and views, maybe a quiz or question if we have time. No, maybe a Who to Face if we have time. And finally, we will have top scary episodes, I think we might do. I'll decide what we're doing by next Saturday when we know a bit more about the episode. But
okay.
So, Which is Familiar tonight on BBC One at 7:45. Make sure you tune in, just so it gets a few extra viewers than last time. For everyone's sake, we don't want Doctor Who to end. We don't want the BBC to end.
Which I don't think there's any danger of.
No. Okay, so that's it for now. We'll see you next week on episode 127 when we'll be reviewing Which is Familiar. Goodbye. Oh, goodbye.